Stratosphere. What is a stratosphere? Annual temperature difference of this layer is approximately is 0, so it is called the stratosphere. With the height, temperature in this layer increases because of the absorption of ozone layer, in which realized heat 3O2 ultraviolet rays 203 plus heat. Ozone concentration occur 15 km to 35 km, but its maximum concentration exists at 22 km height. This layer protects the life harmful ultraviolet of sun. Ultraviolet vitamins, whatever the vitamins is there, D in morning, VB, bureau, V ultraviolet is C, lethal, cancer, genetic disease, and the height of the layer is 50 km from the Earth's surface, mesosphere. It exists of 50 to 80 km from the Earth's surface. With height, temperature decreases because the decreases the density of the air in this layer. We see night cloud at the pole. It is called Shunt cloud. It is this in this layer. Measure right and start burning with upper left limit of the is called mesosphere, which temperature is 100 degrees Celsius. And again, ionosphere. Okay, what is ionosphere? Thermosphere. What is the height of this? 950 km to 640 km, and surface. In this, the layer head temperature increases rapidly. Formation of the ions and N2 line and plus plus and energy. O2 gives sunlight and O plus minus plus energy. Upper limit temperature is in this layer. They exist in International Space Station, and this is the diagram of what we can see the colorful clouds near poles ions. Okay, this is the whatever the sun is there, and these rays are comes over the electronic photons, solar winds, and this is the south pole, north pole, and the asteroids is there. Why? Because of the magnetic waves effects on the eastern ions of conservation. And this is the what the ionosphere is there at night strong, and the satellite is the radio satellite, whatever the thing is there. Okay, this is the satellite, and what the help is done by the help of this layer in the previous or in a straight line radio signal transmitted to the world. Okay, this is after this. And what the name of the layer DE, and the ephemeral exosphere. This layer has no limit, but the exemption is 10,000 km. With the height of temperature increases because it is near or close to sun, Earth. And this is the diagram, but it is wrong. I think I did some other facts. Okay. Average latitude of the atmosphere is 1600 km. 97% of the atmosphere is confined to a latitude of the 29 km. Carbon dioxide and water vapor up to a maximum. Okay. Height of the 90 km above the Earth's surface. Highest amount of water vapor in the equatorial region. This is the question which is asked in the mains. The troposphere is a very significant atmosphere layer that determines weather process. How answers should be 250 words and 15 words. Troposphere is the lowest most layer of the atmosphere. It is average height of 13 km and extends to a height of the 8 km near the pole and about the 8 kilometers at the equator. Generally decreases the temperature with the height in this layer and per kilometer 6.5 degree Celsius. Okay, now this is the this temperature decreases is called the Laplace rate. Increases in the temperature is called the temperature inversion. This is exosphere layer, then thermosphere, ionosphere, and this is mesosphere, stratosphere, troposphere, and earth. This is the layer which is the first is troposphere. After that, this is the stratosphere, mesosphere, ionosphere, thermosphere, exosphere. Temperature of the upper part of the troposphere at the equator is minus 80 degrees Celsius, which on the pole is minus 45 degree to 50% of the humidity exists in this layer, and the atmosphere weight is exist in this layer. Okay, and after this introduction and diagram graph for temperature inverse. Now this is a thermal the Laplace rate. It is the occur in troposphere. In troposphere, temperature increases with its height, then it is called a temperature inverse. Earth and ionosphere is there, and Laplace, whatever the temperature is decrease and increase. It is generally occur in the following of condition: cloudless, clear sky, long night, clean atmosphere, dry air, ice covered surface. This is the temperature. It is the graph which is high and low for the Laplace inversion. Okay. Types of temperature inversion. The radiation inversion. This is the valley and the high cold wind and warm air. Whatever the cold wind is transferred and the warm wind comes over there. From here, cold wind come and warm wind over there. Such a type of temperature inversion generally occur in hilly area where the cold wind flow towards the valley, uplift the warm air. Whatever the cold warm is there, just it comes to through here and then it's uplift to warm air. Subsidences inversion, air warmed, and this is the cold air inversion. Such a types of temperature inversion occurs in a watered region. Also, such a type of temperature inverse occurs winter season, and on the whole earth is in winter season. And after that, due to the decreased temperature of the earth's surface, temperature of the air also decreases, while upper air is warm than the lower air. Frontal temperature inversion: when the cold and hot wind comes together, then uplift by the cold air. When the hot and cold comes together is called front cold warm. Whatever comes here and warm, and then it's a cold warm, it will be down and warm out. Marine inversion. Solar isolation and the temperature winds. What is this? Okay, sun is the only source of energy of the earth. Energy obtained by the sun is called the solar insolation. And then lower temperature duration transfers ray of the light and create the generally, what is this? Generally, from the equator to the polar region decreases in insolation, but polar region have a very low temperature due to the following of two regions. First is duration of sunlight, and second is in polar regions sunlight incline transfers. This is the north temperature zone, and this is equator where the low temperature is there, and temperature zone whatever, this is temperate zone. This is also the temperate zone. This is the degree which is given 22 degree and half, this north, and 22 degree and half south, and 66 degree and half this tropic zone. This is the diagram which is given and mentioned, which is the temperate zone, and subtropical and tropical, whatever this is the diagram which is given. Okay, and now comes to this 100, whatever the sun rays are there which is just come from the sun, that is 100 unit, and it's distributing to 35 units and 65 unit. After that 35 is just divided into 27 clouds. In clouds 6 unit in absorb, 2 unit as albedo. Okay, and 65 unit is divided into 14 wind cloud and 51 winds earth surface, which is 17 unit and 34 unit. Okay, now heat budget is means this is a very important topic. Okay, heat budget means see incoming and outgoing solar insolation, which is responsible for all the weather's event on the earth, and due to this HP temperature of Earth becomes constant and distribution of HP. Consider that this insolation is received at the top of the atmosphere in is 100 unit, while passing through the atmosphere some amount of energy is reflected, scattered and absorbed. Roughly 35 unit are reflected back to space even before reaching the earth's surface. Okay, reflected from the top of the cloud, that is 27 unit. Reflected by the ice field on the earth, that is 2 unit. Reflected by the atmosphere, that is 5 unit and 35 unit, whatever is there. And after that the remaining is 65 unit are the absorbed, 14 unit within the atmosphere and 51 unit by the earth surface. The earth radiation back 51 unit in the form of terrestrial radiation of the this 17 units are the radiated to space directly, and the remains 34 unit are the absorbed by the atmosphere. The 6 unit absorbed directly by the atmosphere, 9 unit through convert and turbulences, and 19 unit through latent heat of the condensation, and the 48 unit absorbed by the atmosphere, 14 unit from the isolation, 34 unit from the terrestrial radiation and also radiated. What is the total? 17 plus 48 is equal to 65 unit, whatever is there. And after this, now atmospheric pressure and the pressure belt. What is the atmospheric pressure and the atmospheric pressure belt? That is, the pressure is equal to F upon A. This is the what is the example 10, that is how much pressure? 1013.25 B in Delhi. Low pressure, atmospheric pressure. Force applied by the air or per unit area is called the atmospheric pressure. Its value is 1013.25 MB. If the air is dense, then the air pressure is high. Okay, factor affecting air pressure: temperature, humidity, and altitude, earth rotation. This and then temperature. If the temperature increases, that the atmospheric pressure decreases. That means atmospheric pressure is directly proportional to the temperature. Atmospheric pressure is directly proportional to the 1 upon temperature. Humidity: due to the increased humidity, air becomes light and atmospheric pressure decreases. Whenever the humidity increases with the height, atmospheric pressure decreases. Okay, after that, and earth earth rotation. and the centripetal force, and this is centrifugal force, which is applied from the center. It is a centrifugal force, and it is from the top is centripetal. Due to the rotation of the earth on equator, we feel low temperature, while on the pole exerted high pressure due to the centripetal and centrifugal is to angle low pressure due to the centrifugal and centripetal. And the resource belt, pressure belt. This is the diagram which is given, that is the isobasic line which is shown over here, and this is the isobars, whatever the diagram is there. And a pressure belt, that is divided into thermal belt and kinetic belt. Okay, thermal belt में equatorial low pressure belt रहता है, polar high pressure belt, that this is the short form, equatorial low pressure belt and polar high pressure belt. Kinematic, subtropical pressure belt and sub low polar pressure belt. Okay, this is the short form which is written over here. After that, due to the thermal and kinetic reason, this is uh, equatorial low pressure belt and polar, what is here written, polar high pressure belt. Okay, and after that, due to the kinetic reason, there is a subtropical high pressure belt and subtropical low polar belt, pressure belt. Okay, equatorial low pressure belt. Okay, this is the again whatever the diagram is there, low pressure belt, this is 20 degrees south and 20 degree north, and this is uplifted to the 5 degree north and 5 degrees south. And this is the equatorial, this is the equator line, which is low pressure belt. The low pressure is up over the equator. Okay, now it is occur on the equator, 5 north and the south 5 degree south. It is developed due to the thermal reason. Due to high insulation, air becomes hot, uplifted as the convection current, which at low pressure. In this region, everyday conventional rainfall increases, and in this region, evergreen forest. One ocean region silence is called the due to the north and south movement, often a title also shifted north and south. Due to the southern and north of the sun belt also shifted toward north and south. Okay, now the subtropical high pressure belt. So high subtropical high pressure belt, this is the equator and this is a subtropical area, which is horizontal latitude and 5 degree north, 5 degrees south. This is equatorial, this is a subtropical high pressure belt. This pressure belt occurs 30 degree to 35 degree north एंड 30 डिग्री टू 35 डिग्री साउथ. ये जो सब ट्रॉपिकल हाई प्रेशर बेल्ट है वो यहाँ पे मोस्टली क्या प्रोड्यूस्ड होते हैं, वो भी ऑकर्स इन द 30 to 35 degrees north and 30 to 35 degree south. Okay, and after that, this is the produced by the kinematic reason. This pressure developed due to those wind which uplifted at equator. Due to corrosive force, it subsides towards 30 degree to 35 degree north and south latitude. Due to the subsides for air, this is the claim zone, which is more stable of the sea sea region. It means it is the most stable southern hemisphere high. It is also known as the high zone by Hawaii. It is also called the horse latitude. Okay, this is also called the horse latitude. The subpolar low pressure belt. Okay, this is occurs in 60 degree to 65 degree north and south. Okay, it occurs between 60 to 65 degree north, and as latitude developed due to the kinetic energy at a pole of earth gravitation force high continuously concentration of air increase here, which supply from the subpolar at this region created low pressure belt, and ocean hot current also responsible in the formation of the this belt. This here also formed a cloud and a heavy rainfall. Okay, this also called a heavy rainfall. The polar high pressure belt, it occurs in the north and south pole. It is developed due to the kinetic energy. Due to less insulation, wind becomes cold subsides here, developed by high pressure here. Final diagram. In this diagram, all low pressure belt, high pressure belts, equatorial low pressure belt is all the thing is mentioned over here. See, this is the polar high pressure belt in north. Okay, subpolar low pressure belt, and this is the uh, sub high pressure belt. Equatorial low pressure belt. Subpolar or subtropical high pressure, subpolar low pressure belt, and this is a polar high pressure belt in south. Okay, and this is the degree which is mentioned over here. You can understand this is in negative and this is your surplus. Winds. Now, what is about winds? Winds are these types: primary, secondary, tertiary. Primary subtropic trade winds, westerlies winds, polar interiors, and secondary. So primary, secondary, tertiary. Primary, secondary, tertiary, and what is the secondary is what? Monsoon, sea breeze and land breeze. Okay, and valley breeze and high breeze. Tertiary, hot and cold, that is the tertiary. After that, the reason of origin and the direction of the winds. Pressure, gradient force, that is in the slope, and the winds belongs high pressure to low pressure, moves due to the pressure gradient force. Okay, that is H, high pressure and low pressure. Okay, then speed of the winds, uh, complete depend on the pressure differences or pressure gradient force. Coriolis force, due to this force, direction of the wind decides this force developed due to the rotation of the earth and according to the Ferrel law in the winds. Again, this is the formula of wind, d upon t, that is uh, Fc is equal to 2 or in vector quantity W and vector quantity V. This is the Coriolis force. Okay, now northern hemisphere wind returns towards right, while southern hemisphere it returns towards left. A high pressure wind and a low pressure wind. According to the Ferrel, this changes in a minimum of the equator while maximum on the pole due to the Coriolis force. Due to the frictional force decreases the speed of wind. Okay, this is a diagram that is the winds where the polar high pressure belt, subpolar low pressure belt, and subpolar high pressure belt, and equatorial low pressure belt. Okay, and trade winds, easterlies winds. This is the which events trade wind. These winds are found in the northern hemisphere between 30 to 5 degree, and in the south hemisphere also between 30 to 35-degree latitude. That is, this winds more for the subtropical high tropical pressure belt in the equator low pressure belt. The English name of the wind is trade, which is actually a variation of the German word trade. That is, trade does not means trade, but a way by many geographical known is it is by the name of the trade winds. Okay, ये ट्रेड के बारे में वॉट एवर इज दैट वॉज द इंफॉर्मेशन एंड theoretically the direction of the winds should have been north and south in the north hemisphere, and but due to the Coriolis force the direction of this winds is from the northeast to south, whereas in the southern hemisphere their direction becomes from south to east to northwest. Okay, and that's why these winds are also called easterlies winds. ये what means trade winds, actually it means the easterlies winds. Okay, at this latitude of the earth these winds cause heavy rain on the earth part of the continent. Okay, and but it does not rain on the western part of the continent. Therefore large are found on the western side of the continent of this latitude. The trade winds on both the hemisphere meets each other near the equator, and this area is called ITCZ, intertropical convergence zone. Okay, and this is the ITCZ is a low pressure area, and due to this very low intensity anti-equatorial wind blow from the west to east in the Indian Ocean. The southeasterly trade wind of the south hemisphere for the Indian monsoon, southwest monsoon. This is very important for the easterlies winds. Okay, very means very important. I had just made over tick. Okay, now westerlies winds. This is the western wind. These winds are occur in the north and south hemisphere between 35 to 60 degree latitude. That is, these winds are occur between the subtropical high pressure belt to the subpolar low pressure belt. The direction of the winds is due to the Coriolis force in the north hemisphere from the southwest north to northeast, while in the south hemisphere their direction is from northwest to southwest. That is, their winds seems to be coming from the west direction. Therefore, these winds are also called the westerly winds. These winds enter the temperate zone chemical climate from the warm and humid climate, and that is due to the moving from warm latitude to cold latitude. The western part of the continent receive rainfall throughout the year. Okay, for the example, the western part to Europe, the western part of the Canada, the western part of the Chile, etc. Okay, due to the greater ocean expansion in the south hemisphere, the intensity of the wind is greater in the southern hemisphere. There between 40 to 60 south latitude. These winds are also called the brave under, and on the basis of this loud and sound by the local people, this they are also called the roaring forties, furious furious 50, and screaming 60s. These western winds are also considered respective temperature cyclones and jet wind because between 60 degree to 65 degree latitude. Okay, after that polar easterlies west.